Stuart, I have a question.
Yes, Bob.
For forgiveness to be authentic, where does it need to well up from inside myself?
For what to be authentic?
Forgiveness.
From your heart, from that part of you, that really is in touch with unconditional love, in touch with the highest levels of your own humanity, and that part of you that understands that nobody in this world is perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. And if we can't forgive other people, how are they going to forgive us? Because we're making mistakes too, every single one of us. And that really is the key. It's an open heart. How do you open the heart? One has to, first of all, have gratitude for their life. One has to breathe properly. And then that leads to forgiveness. I mean, the world does not move forward unless people learn how to forgive each other. Because there isn't a day that goes on where everybody isn't making some kind of mistake that can offend other people. Anybody can, look, there's nobody in the world who couldn't analyze me and find 50 things wrong that they don't like, you know? He really once told me he wasn't running for Miss America. He was there to transmit Shakti, transmit energy. And it's not only me, it's everyone you deal with. No relationship can move on, can be successful unless people know how to forgive each other. To forgive each other, they have to have patience and they have to have a heart that is open. And they can't sit in judgment of other people. They have to say, okay, I need to love people that I'm in one kind of relationship or another with unconditionally. Give them the room to live their lives, give them the room to find their own creative space, and love them because of who they are, not because of who I think they're supposed to be. Now, you can't do this if your heart is closed. And this is not an easy thing. I mean, it takes a lot of work on oneself. Most people are not willing to put in the kind of work that it takes to build that kind of system that can forgive. I mean, how many times have I said it? Say that thing with Christ, forgive them, they know not what they do. I think it's probably one of the most extraordinary things ever written. Nailed to a cross. Forgive them. They're not conscious people. That's where it comes from, Bob, the heart. That's why so much of this meditation is about learning how to keep the heart open. This takes time, it takes work. And as I say, most people are so self-involved in their own bullshit. They understand that they never do the work deep enough inside themselves where they're really capable of forgiving. In order to have an open heart, we need to be grounded. We need to have foundation. How many times have I said this? 100 million times already. You need to be grounded inside. You need foundation. The whole double breathing exercise is about building the kind of chakra system that gives you the strength to be able to forgive. And on top of it, you have to learn how to forgive yourself. Can't walk around being guilty because of everything you did in your life, you know? We have to get past ourselves. You understand? We walk around, cringing about and then judging other people, judging, getting crazy because of the politics that goes on in life, the economics that goes on in life, getting crazy over this stuff. And it's all like a stink that just goes away, you know? And then the next stink comes, and the next stink comes, and the next one comes. And it doesn't stop. What the only way it can stop is we got to build a system inside that's strong enough not to be affected by it. Otherwise, there's always something that we can sit in judgment of that's wrong with life. And in doing what I'm talking about, what do? We build our own humanity. And when you develop your humanity, there's room inside you for people to live. That's where forgiveness comes from. But it doesn't happen just because we get up in the morning. We got to work on ourselves to build a system that makes it possible for us to live that way. Otherwise, I mean, you're always going to get smacked in the face with some kind of nonsense that's going to get you upset. It's just stupid, We go, it's like people just live that way. It's just a stupid way of living, but most people live that way. We need to learn to, first of all, like ourselves, find our own self-worth. We need to get strong enough to start judging other people in the world, looking out at life and finding, even in the worst person, finding something that you can learn from them about your own self. And not be emotionally tied up in knots all the time. That's the worst thing. We get emotionally tied up in knots. We haven't developed enough chi inside to master that swamp land of emotion. And boy, that's really painful to live that way. I don't know. I hope that's clear, Bob. I don't know how to make it clearer.
Great. That's wonderful. Thank you very much. That's very good.
Welcome, Bob. Does anyone else have a question? Hmm. Does anyone have a question? Anyone else? I mean, all this is about, I'm telling you, look, what we do here is not a spiritual life. I've said it many times. I'll say it again. What we do here is building a system that enables us to live a spiritual life. Spiritual life is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Whatever we're doing, when you develop a chakra system that's connected to higher energy, whatever you do during the day is done consciously. And you have the internal strength to be able to deal with whatever goes on in the world. Because if you don't have that internal strength, it interferes with any possibility of having a spiritual life. And that's all these classes are for. I mean, I don't teach religion here, you know, nothing of that nature. It's simply building an inner life. That is, I always say, it's the covenant of a human being with God to do the work that is essential if you want to have a spiritual life. If you don't do the work, don't complain, You got to accept the way you're living. If you do the inner work, it all changes. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, if there are no more questions, then thank you. God bless you all. And there'll be a meditation, well, tomorrow afternoon and then Wednesday evening. So God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you for being here, being part of my life. And I'm looking forward to seeing everyone soon. Bless you.
Thank you,
Thank
Stuart.
Thank you.